coming to you from the Spit Studios in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. This is the Spit Sports Show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the best time on the sports calendar, period. NBA playoffs in full swing, NHL playoffs, first round for both, so many games to watch, so much action to follow. The PGA Tour is up in full swing right now with Scottie Scheffler dominating. Right now is pristine time to be a fan of sports and just in general. If you're a fan of just great entertainment, turn on a couple of these NBA and NHL games. But I want to talk about, first of all, my hometown Vancouver Canucks, because fans, you guys have got to just take a deep breath. Now, I'm going to start by probably ramping up your heartbeat a little bit by just pointing out the fact that the two reasons that I was so confident in the Canucks coming into this series that they would beat the Preds, I don't want to say convincingly because I beat them in 6, but I didn't think it was going to be a particularly stressful series for me. But the two main reasons were our top-end talent is way better than Nashville's. We have a Norris winner, a potential Hart candidate in the future, 100-point scorer on top of that. The Preds have Ryan O'Reilly and Roman Josi as kind of their primary guys. And I thought we had a decided edge in goaltending. I thought Demko was going to be way better than Soros. Not way better, but better. And after 2 games, well, it seems like neither of those points are true anymore, which is a little terrifying. Listen, Hughes has been a complete no-show in this series. He's had one good period. Third period of game 1, he played really well, scored the goal that started the 12-second spree that brought the Canucks that win. But he hasn't been playing as confidently, and I'm going to get to confidence later when I talk about another player on the Canucks. But what Hughes does so well, what his superpower is, in my opinion, is in the offensive zone. If a winger comes up too high to challenge him, he is going to burn that winger and create a limited odd man scoring chance. The winger is going to be behind him. He's going to be able to make a play, hopefully find someone with his vision. But for some reason, when the puck comes back to him on the point and he has an opportunity to do this, he just hasn't been doing it. He's been deferring to Filip Hronek a lot more than I think he should be. On the power play, it seems like he's a little hesitant to do anything extra to create a great play instead of a good play. And just overall, he doesn't look as nearly as confident as he did in the regular season getting the puck out of his own zone, which was the reason the Preds scored their first goal in game 2. Now, falling happens in hockey. I understand you catch an edge, but just to be consistently just off in his skating, I think it's not a good sign. And as our Norris winner, our captain, he's got to be the one to set the tone for the superstars. And he hasn't been doing that. And speaking of superstars, or people told me he's a superstar, Elias Pettersson has been straight up garbage. He's been straight garbage. He has 0 points in the first 2 games. He's a -4. And his confidence just seems absolutely shot. Way more than Hughes was. There were a couple times in the game on Tuesday where I thought that Pettersson had a wide open lane to shoot and would have every single time in the regular season. But for some reason in these playoffs, there was one play where I can't remember who it was, but a left-handed shot skated down the left wing, fed it across to Pettersson. This isn't the shot that he missed the wide open net, but he got it on his stick and he didn't even look to shoot. He just did a little, trickle pass in front, hoping it would get off a stick. No, let it rip, man. Have we seen him take one just ripper of a one-timer this series? I can't remember one. And look, he needs to play better. He needs to play so much better. I like the way Miller's been playing, to be honest. I know a lot of people don't, but I think he's been a lot better than the other 2 superstars we have are. But he hasn't been producing, really. He just has 1 assist through 2 games. And the icing on the cake, or I don't know, the mayonnaise on the cake, if you want to put it that way, is Demko. The reporting on it is so vague right now, so I don't want to overreact. There's some people saying he would be unlikely to play in the conference finals if we made it that far. There's some people saying he might be able to play game 6 in this series if we make it. There's some people who are saying he'll be back by round 2. I don't know. I don't know Thatcher Demko. I know a bunch of people who do know Thatcher Demko, but the reporting out is very vague and very all over the place. So I don't know how to react particularly, but it's definitely something. Casey DeSmith is as up and down a goalie as you can get. He'll have one game where he just shuts the door, and he'll have another game where he lets in these just flubbers that no NHL goalie has any right to let in. And I don't know what Casey DeSmith I'm getting on a game-to-game basis. And that's so scary, especially considering I think on a night-to-night basis, the Canucks are going to play better than the Predators will. Demko injury, please be back soon. Come back healthy. Don't rush it. I totally get that. But it's like, it just feels like another nail in the coffin. You know what I mean? That like the Canucks are Canucking once again. What can go wrong will go wrong. Doesn't it kind of feel like that? But I will say, and this is why the entire premise of this video is don't panic. You're probably wondering, why the hell did you title this video Canucks fans don't panic, and you're giving us every reason to panic? Well, let me tell you, with everything I said, with every point I just made about Hughes being bad, Pettersson being awful, Demko being hurt, the Canucks have still wildly outplayed Nashville in the first 2 games. Flatly. If you look at game flow, heat map, shot chart, any statistical anomalies or just consistencies that you want to look at when looking at who has played better this series, and even just watching the game, Canucks have been way better. And this is with their superstars, I think, playing poorly. This is without their starting goalie at 100% for either of the games and not having him at all for the second game. So I am more confident in these Canucks than I think a lot of people are. Now, what is my prediction? Has it changed from Canucks in 6? It hasn't. It honestly hasn't. The Canucks' key to victory now, and this is a football term that I don't think I've ever used when talking about hockey, but they need to get the lead early. Like, what Nashville did in game 2 was, like, it genuinely made me want to throw up. Their whole thing was after they got a lead, they just chucked bodies in front of the net and would not let anything through. And props to them. They blocked 32 shots in game 2, which is an obscene number of shots. That's the amount of saves a goalie should have, not the amount of shots blocked as a team. That's a good night for a goalie, actually. 32 saves. Are you kidding me? But that's clearly their strategy, because they know they can't play with the Canucks when it's free-flowing 5-on-5. They've got to condense the ice, but they can't do that if the Canucks get a lead early. So I think tomorrow, the first period, or tonight, the first period is going to mean everything for this team. And listen, I still think the Canucks get this done. Is that my hometown bias coming into it? Don't think so. I think they're still the better team, but it's going to be a whole lot more stressful and nail-biting than it was coming into this series, in my opinion. I think the Canucks are going to be fine. They've outplayed them in 2 games while not playing their best hockey. Now, I want to jump into another series that has made me want to throw up and, rip paintings off rip paintings off the wall and rip posters off of my wall and rip the bedding off of my bed. And it's just been a horrible, horrible series for me between the Nuggets and Lakers. Now, I want to talk about game 2 specifically because for me, the series ended at halftime of game 2. And that might sound a little odd considering the Lakers went into the half up 14, but let me tell you why. The Lakers played the best game they could possibly play in the first half. D'Lo had 5 threes. LeBron was unbelievable. I thought Anthony Davis had his single best half as a Laker. The job he was doing on Nikola Jokic in that first half was the most I've seen a player be able to slow down Jokic since the bubble. I was so impressed with Anthony Davis. I thought Austin Reeves was playing unbelievable on-ball defense on Jamal Murray, making it super tough for him to get to his spots. LeBron was obviously LeBron. He had a good half. Now, Hachimura wasn't playing well, but other than that, everything was rolling for the Lakers and everything was not rolling for the Nuggets. The Nuggets had at least 7 threes that just went in and out, and everything was hitting bottom for the Lakers, and they ended it up by 14. Listen, if that's the best you can play, and I think that is the best effort the Lakers can possibly give, and that's the worst I've seen Denver play in the playoffs, like I said, since probably that bubble year. Like, and you're only up by 14, you can't win the series. They got it up to 20 at one point during the third quarter, and I honestly didn't feel like it mattered because just nothing was going in for the Nuggets, and you knew it was only a matter of time. When they were up big, like, I was honestly just sitting on my couch like this, just stressed, hands in front of my face, because obviously I want the Lakers to win, but I was just sitting there waiting for the Nuggets to make their run and come back. And it seemed like that was exactly what the Lakers were doing. Like, as soon as they got up by 20, that was the flat number. It seemed like they were just waiting. Like, they were just passively playing offense, trying not to screw up, and just waiting for that Denver run to hit so they could absorb it. I don't know what they were doing. They had to step on their necks when they were up 20. Now, going up by 20 in the NBA doesn't mean anything. Don't get me wrong. But in that situation, when all the momentum's in your favor, you're in Denver, you can get home court advantage, feel great about yourself on the flight back to LA, you have to step on their necks. And instead, they just put it in cruise control. And what happened? The Nuggets went on a run, just like I expected them to, just like the Lakers clearly expected them to. Now, do I put some of that on LeBron? Yes, I do. I talk so much about how this guy is unbelievable at controlling pace of play, controlling the game in different ways that we don't exactly see in the box score. I thought he should have taken that opportunity early in game 3 to go on that run that he went in the fourth quarter, where it seemed like he had the ball on a string. He had the whole game in control, and he was aggressive because he can't be aggressive all the time anymore. He has to pick and choose his spots. I thought he should have pick and chose that early third quarter to get up by 30 plus and just say, you know what, Denver, we got you. Heading back to LA 1-1. And he didn't. He was just like the other Lakers, just waiting for the Nuggets to make their run. And when they made their run and it was tight in the fourth quarter, it was just too little too late and they got out executed. Which is the main reason why I don't think the Lakers have a chance in this series anymore. Execution. The Lakers have to play perfectly to beat Denver. And that's kind of widely accepted and tossed around nowadays in the basketball community that LA has to play perfect to beat the Nuggets. But like, if you really think about it, why do they have to play perfectly to beat any team? Perfectly. I mean, like literally flawless. Like, basketball is a game of runs. Any team could win any night. A team could get hot from 3. A team could get, some crazy production off the bench from a guy. Like, losing 10 straight times to a team when you're a solid team with LeBron James and Anthony Davis on your team is just unfathomable to me. But the reason why they've lost all of these games is twofold. First of all, the Nuggets control every non-variable aspect of basketball when they play against each other. So what I mean by that is any game you can have a hot shooting night or a guy can go off or you can get more assists and crazy steals. Like, those are variables. Those go up and down. They change with the wind. You know what doesn't change with the wind? You know what has to do with just focus, effort? Turnovers. 14 turnovers for the Lakers again in game 2. And at least 5 of them were just pure carelessness. Like, there was one where I saw D'Angelo Russell take the ball up the left wing and just toss it to half court where he's trying to fit LeBron. And he just misses him. It goes out of bounds. Like, what are you doing? It's not even like you're trying, to throw up a lob and it gets intercepted. Nothing like that. It's just a careless pass. When you're playing against the defending champions of the world in basketball, you can't do that. Rebounding. Another non-variable aspect. This just has to do with effort, determination, just like big bodies doing big body things, roster construction. This has to do with rebounding was 45-38 for Denver, including 5 more offensive rebounds than the Lakers had. This year when they played, the Nuggets averaged 8 more rebounds a game than the Lakers did. Again, non-variable stuff. The Nuggets just dominate. And the Lakers have to rely so much on hot shooting nights. And even when they got one, they couldn't capitalize on it because they didn't execute the oh my goodness gracious me. And defense. Defense. Another non-variable that you can control. The Nuggets don't have a weak defender in their rotation, really. Like, maybe Jamal Murray, but, like, is he a bad defender? If you put him on Austin Reeves, are you scared of that matchup? If I was a Nuggets fan, I'm not. Like, it just kills me. Because the Lakers have so much talent, but the Nuggets just have so much consistency. And so much teamwork. And so much stuff that translates to winning in any sport. Whereas the Lakers have to play perfectly. And the other reason that they have to play so perfect is they have these stretches where they either get bored, they think the other team is just going to roll over, or they have the worst attention span of any NBA team I've ever seen. But there are 5-minute spans in every single Lakers game I watch where they just don't look like they care. They think the game's over, or they think, like, I don't know what they're thinking. I think it has to do with coaching, and clearly, you know, with Anthony Davis's quote, I'm going to read it out to you because he seems to agree with what I'm saying. We have stretches where we don't know what we're doing on both ends of the floor, and those are the ones that kill us. That is a direct quote from the second best player on the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, does that have something to do with coaching? You're damn right it does. You can't have stretches in an NBA basketball game where you don't know what you're doing, where you don't know what your defensive coverage is, where you don't know what play you're going to run. Is it going to be a high pick and roll or a floppy? You have no idea. That's coaching. And the coaching mismatch is a huge part of why the Lakers have to play perfectly. Darvin Ham isn't in Michael Malone's league. And it hurts because I think the Lakers have a really talented roster. I really do. And I think if the intangibles around them, and if they just committed to the little things, they could be a great team. But Denver's already done that. Denver's better than they are now. And I think the series is going to be over in probably 5 games. Thank you guys so much, as always, for watching. I want to know, what did you think? How do you feel as a Canucks fan after the first 2 games of the series? If you're an NBA fan, who do you think is coming out of the West? And do you think the Lakers have a chance in the rest of this series? I'm small enough as to where I can reply and read all comments, and I love doing that, so please leave something in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't already. The Spit Sports Show, climbing over 200 subscribers. We're doing big things. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next. Peace out.